And
I know today, no matter what is happening, things will all go my way. I see heaven and I don't have to wait for you to recognize that love resides in this place. Why not lesson ahead? Why you making that face? You be tripping, so you wasn't thinking about something different. Why you making just relax with it, ain't no accidents, it's just all for the love.
Heaven High, everybody. Welcome. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm always excited every time we have an episode of Heaven High Podcast, but I'm super excited to have these sisters on today. They're like, I don't know, we need a name. We need a name. It's like, what is it? What is it? What y'all got? Soul Sisters number 4, Wonder Twin Powers. What is it?
To the fourth power.
To the fourth power is a good one.
Oh, I like that.
That's a good one.
Let me write that down. To the fourth power. So my guest today, all of us make up to the fourth power, but we have bottom right-hand corner, intuitive Reiki master, teacher, Miss Karolyn Porter. Hey. Bottom left-hand corner, my left, Minister Jeane July, spiritual counselor, psychic medium, singer, songwriter.
How y'all doing? Hello, hello.
Top right, we have my sister, intuitive astrologist, artist, Sonja Marie.
Hello.
And I'm Tangie Ambrose, and I'm excited, y'all. We're talking about something that a lot of people wonder, but don't talk about that often. So I'm just going to jump right in and say, do you ladies believe everyone has a spiritual gift? Because sometimes when I see people with their gifts, I think they're special. But do you believe everyone has one?
I believe so.
I do. Everyone does.
Mm-hmm. And how would a person know what their gift is?
If anyone else wants to take that, if not, I'll jump in.
Oh, go ahead. I'll jump in right behind you. I didn't want to overtalk you. Go ahead.
Okay.
Or I could ask this before: how would you define a spiritual gift? Maybe we'll start there. How would you define a spiritual gift? Because there are a lot of gifts and fruits of the spirit and different things. So who would like to answer that question?
Well, first of all of us are spirit. Period. So the gift is just a gift. However, being that we're already spirit, we just kind of combine the two words together, spiritual gifts.
Okay.
But because we're spirit, you just have to intuitively tap in to what your gift is and then proceed from there. I'll let Jeane go from there, but I just want to just be reminded that we're all spirit.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. And I agree wholeheartedly with what Karolyn said, because recognizing who we are, we're not, and I think that what people have to understand, and you usually understand as you start to accept that you have a gift, is that we're not separate from spirit. You know, we carry the DNA of the Creator. And so everyone has a gift of some kind. And so you have those, what Karolyn was saying in the Bible, they talk about the fruits of the Spirit, right? The gift of prophecy, the gift of teaching, the gift of knowledge, the gift of wisdom, the gift of healing, the gift of this, and this. And so I think that we start to see like inklings. Like when I get ready to teach a class, I ask the question, Do you feel like you have dreams all the time, or you always seem to know that something's going to happen and it happens? You get inklings, like they would say, intuition and all of that. And so that's the gift, the gifts, or you just have this way of teaching people whatever it is. So we all have it, whether you recognize it or not. We all do.
So spiritual gifts. That's interesting. I'm understanding what you're saying because we're spiritual. That's why we're spirits. That's why we say spiritual gifts. But a gift is a gift. Is that what you're saying? Because you said once we accept our gift, like um like I can see a person who sees into the future. I can see their gift. A person who hears things and just knows. A person who prophesizes. A poet, a healer. But what about a person who is not in touch with any of those senses outside of that? Do they too have spiritual gifts, you think?
Well, spirit, a gift, from my understanding and what I'm hearing, is that a gift doesn't always have to be the things that we put them in containers to be. For instance, somebody might have an amazing musical ear, right?
Mhm.
If they tap into the spirit, if they connect the two, if they have a wonderful musical ear, but they tap into the spirit and allow that to be led by the spirit, to be led by love, then that miracle, that gift, along with hearing, like music, can be a gift to the world, because now they'll be able to expand their gift out into the world and share their gift to the world on different levels.
I love it. It's so funny because when you were saying it, I started thinking about Stevie Wonder, and I've always admired his gifts, but I've never called them a spiritual gift. But it is a spiritual gift because he's a spirit exhibiting this gift.
Exactly.
Okay, do any of you in the audience have any gifts that you would like to share or
Oh,
any
Sonja
questions?
was raising her hand.
Oh, I'm
Sonia wanted
sorry,
to.
Marie.
Yeah.
That's okay. This you actually was setting up a great segue because people can prepare their questions while I add this. I believe and agree with everything that was said. And I also believe that being that we have the great power of co-creation, and it's absolutely one of the rules, being here on this planet, um,
Mhm.
people may short sight themselves. People may disregard their power because we have the power and the choice to tap into that gift or not, to recognize it or not. I like to say it's like a window. Like we have the ability to open it wide and deal with it, practice it, engage, or we can kind of shut it down. It's not to say it's going to go away though. It's not to say that, it won't remind you every now and again, if you're a person who actually sees and has the gift of sight. It's not to say somebody won't poke around the corner
Mhm.
after 5 years of you not seeing nobody, and all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, how you doing? I'm Uncle Bob," and you're like, "Oh
Mhm.
my God," it's not going anywhere. But being that we are co-creators to this existence, we do have a way of shutting it out. So I really wanted to say that in case there's somebody in our illustrious audience that says, "Well, I don't have a gift. I don't have a gift." Well, you might want to ask yourself how often you shut it out, how
Hmm.
often you push it away, how often you deny it, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of the ways I can imagine that you deny it is if somebody says, and you tell me if I'm right or wrong, if somebody says, "Oh my God, you're so great at," or if people are constantly coming at you for this same thing over and over again, or isn't that a way that you can recognize, oh, I must be gifted in this area?
That's a good point, Tangie. I never even
Mhm.
thought about that, but I would say yes. I
Yes.
would say absolutely.
Yeah.
Because it's
I
that thing
agree.
that comes naturally to you, right?
Right.
Hmm.
And
It,
oftentimes that's hardest to recognize, the thing that comes natural. because we don't really think much of it. So, to you ladies and to you in the audience, is there anything that comes natural to you where people are always recognizing you for, you in the audience too, that you haven't embraced yet?
For you're asking us then? We
All
have
of
it?
you on stage and you in the
Okay.
audience. Is
Yeah.
there anything that people are constantly coming at you for that you haven't embraced? But when you sit and think about it, you think, oh, well, I must really be good at talking to sad people because they always calling me, something we complain about. Anytime somebody's sad, they call me. Why you call me when you sad? Every time somebody needs some money, why you call me? Every time somebody move, why they call me? Can you think of anything?
Yes.
I mean, for myself, I've embraced. That's why I said I put my title as spiritual counselor, because I understand that people do come to me, for advice or for guidance, and so I think it became. I think I began to embrace it, and it became natural, and I just accepted it, and it's like, okay, this is also who I am. You know,
Mm.
it's also who I am.
That is so true for me as well. I remember there was a time in my life when I finally surrendered. And that was a big, because I wanted to do things so traditionally. I was
Yes.
raised a certain way, so I wouldn't listen to those gifts, because in the way that I was raised, that wasn't something that I was led to believe in myself, in my gifts. It was always looking to a leader for someone to tell
Mm.
me how to be. And so God just came to me one day and said, "That's enough, my daughter. I have to show you." And when I surrendered, just doors just start opening up and the gifts just start pouring in. And even still, I had to quit, like, why? I know maybe those in the audience sometimes say, "Why me? Why not you?"
Why
Hmm.
not?
We are all powerful. We are all beautiful. We are all love. And the other thing is to absolutely don't try to be like anyone else. Your gift is your gift.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because that sometimes comes up when you start getting into this to community. You're looking at this person's gift and that person's gift, and you're like, and you get pulled away, and you have to sit and be quiet and listen to what your gift is.
Oh
And
my
it does
goodness.
take commitment.
Your gifts are amazing.
Thank you.
Absolutely amazing. The three of you, the gifts, I get it. The astrology, the Reiki, the spiritual counseling, the visions. Some of you see, some of you feel, some of you hear, and it's really amazing to see the three of you work out what spirit is telling you and how it all the same thing is shown in different ways. Like you'll feel it, you'll hear it, and you'll see it. And I'll be like, ooh, it's just I'll enjoy it. That's my gift. I have the gift of enjoyment.
I also
Um,
think that everybody's gifts come with like a set of rules or
Yeah.
a set of lessons, and or yeah, it doesn't come in the door and out the door the same for everybody. And I do know for myself, I had to learn how to be disciplined with my gifts. I
mm,
had to learn that even though they come easy, even though I can access them, I had to learn how to be discerning with them. How there are certain people or certain situations in which you cannot use your gifts with or on or for or about in a situation. You know what I mean? You really have to be responsible for your gifts. And that's a whole nother, in my
That
opinion,
is.
a whole nother level to it, because we can have a crystal, we can have a child, we can have a cup. You know what I mean? But what you do with that, what you do with those things, what you do with what's being given to you is a whole nother thing. And some people, including myself, may sometimes feel daunted by that responsibility, may sometimes feel like, why do I have to work it? If it's a gift and it's something that God gave me, just let me walk all over the planet and throw it around like flowers, just, and it's like, yeah, but no, there's rules to the game,
now
and
I
Yeah.
wonder, Sonja Marie, if that has something to do with since you know astrology too, your astrological, your rising. I wonder if that has something to do with that. Um, because I wonder, like I believe one of my gifts is I can talk to anybody. And I
Absolutely.
and I find people sometimes people will be with me, leave them alone. Like you did, which made me understand it took me some years, but it made me start to see it's different. So I wonder if like if you had a different rising, do you think that would feel different?
Well, absolutely. I mean, it's complicated on some level, right? Because there's all these different layers that play into your existence and who you are while you have these gifts in tow. So yes, the quick answer is absolutely. It could be a rising, it can be your Saturn that shows you how you are not being disciplined with it. It can be your moon that shows you sometimes you involve your emotions in your gift a little bit too much or take things too personally. It can be your Neptune and the way in which you want to escape. Sometimes when them gifts come up, I just want to smoke a joint. I just want to drink. I just want to escape and, do the things and eat. You know what I mean? It could be so much, but that's personality. When we talk about astrology, we're talking about your personality. Your spiritual gifts is a whole nother entity. So your personality is here to show how to administer those gifts, good, bad, and indifferent, how you working through them. That's the responsibility part.
So Timmy says, I always have this need to show kindness. Is that also a gift or is that part of his personality? It is a gift to show kindness, but to have the need to show kindness. What do you think? He says, I think being attractive too is also a gift. I agree. Sonja Marie,
Well,
if that's a gift, then you're 100%. I love it. I love it. You are 100% gifted. Whoop, whoop.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you.
So what do y'all think about that? Is the need to show kindness a gift?
um, I would say it's not a gift, but it is showing that you have a lot of compassion and empathy
Mhm.
for
And
people.
that is a gift.
Well,
Compassion
we
is a
we all have that. It's just a matter of
no.
us using it. No, we do. We're born with it. We're taught and conditioned and desensitized to not use it. But there are those who are open to being more compassionate, having more empathy. And so those that don't use it, it's like I always say, we all have the exact same power, and it's a matter of how we use it.
Yeah.
So with him, the need to show kindness, that's part of just love for
Human.
humanity.
Hmm.
That's
It's
love
so
for humanity right there.
Yeah.
it's interesting too, because if you study human design, on human design, you can see if someone has empathy and if they don't. Like
Hmm.
you can see if they have a gift to read the room, and if they don't, you can see those different gifts. So I like what you're saying with his compassion, him showing compassion, that being a gift. But that's a whole nother thing. Human design, astrology, all of that. Robert says life is a gift with everything that comes with it. I agree. Have you ever found that your gifts were burdens?
No, it's an honor for me. It's an honor because I'm in service to spirit, and that's an honor.
Say, but your gift is like, oh my gosh, I can see that being, because she's psychic and she can communicate with animals and spirits and all of that. So those gifts would for me feel like an honor. My gift, I have a gift of making people feel better. I find people, that's what they tell me. And sometimes I might go someplace and I don't feel like none of that. So then I'll stay home, because then it can be kind of a burden, because I know they're expecting me to go in and be who I am, but if I don't feel like being that, then it can be a burden. Is that burden, blessing, gift?
You know, I go back to what Sonja Marie was saying about discernment
Mm-hmm.
and how
Discernment.
to use them. And once you are 10 toes down and grounded and know who you are in your gift, you come to an understanding and sit with spirit about how to proceed and move and live in this realm. And I've had to do that. I've had
Mm.
to learn. It does take time. It's not just a one off. It's not here today and it's just like, boom, you've got it all put together. It takes time. It takes time how to speak, how to move, and how to discern. Like even right now, all you ladies were talking, I could feel spirit coming in. So there's just different ways that you learn, and it's about how you perceive it. If you perceive that it's a burden, guess what? It's going to be a burden.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
if you change your trajectory, oh, thank you, Holy Spirit. If you think it's a burden, then it will be. Otherwise, you have to love it and allow. One of the biggest words I hear right now is allowing, because I can feel it starting to just allow it to flow. And once you open yourself up to allow the spirit to flow, it becomes beautiful, becomes
Yeah.
absolutely beautiful. And therefore, like Jeane was saying, when you remember that you are a support and of service, you are so happy to serve and to be a help to that person in need at the moment that the spirit is there for that person. You separate yourself. It's never you anyway.
See, it's so hard for me not to distinguish between gifts and spiritual gifts. I know y'all are saying the same thing, but when y'all are speaking about spirit coming through you and speaking to someone, or a spirit, or you sharing something that the ancestors want you to share, to me, that is a gift that's always like, yes.
Well,
But
can
go
I
ahead.
jump in here?
Yes.
And I just want, let me get my thoughts together because I want to say several things, but I'm going to try to find a way to pull it all together. Back to the burdens. For myself, it used to be a burden. And I think it can be a burden, just like Colin said, it can be a burden depending on how you perceive it. It can be a burden depending on where you grow up. It can be a burden depending on who nurtures that. It can be a burden, depends on who wants to take it away. It can be a burden because you're insecure in it. It can be a burden somewhat along the lines of what you're about to say, is that if you compare, with all respect, different types of gift, because a gift is a gift. None is better and or greater or whatever than the next. Each situation is different depending on the holder, depending on the person. To answer the question, though, for me, it has been a burden when I was younger. Growing up and raised in Yonkers, New York, wasn't nobody talking about seeing spirits around the corner. No, wasn't nobody talking about your grandmother standing beside you. As a matter of fact, I used to get slapped in the mouth because, and I'm sure a couple of people have heard me say this, because my mother and her friends are in the room talking about this guy and his girlfriend is in the room and they're like, but she's, this is my man, this is my man. I was like, oh, I thought he went with Sarah on the 5th floor. Bam! You know what I mean? Because in my mind, he's with Sarah. He's
On the 5th floor.
Sarah.
Yes. Yes.
So it's like, how are you supposed to know that? And that equates to a burden in a child's mind and heart. So you grow up resenting the things that that other people don't see, until lo and behold, that day in which I did take it seriously, until spirit shows you it's not going anywhere. It's yours. What you going to do with it? How you going to flip it? How you going to serve me? And it becomes an honor, as Miss Jeane said.
I love it. I love it. Angela says, I agree. Sometimes astrology may play a part, especially with your moon sign. She says, I've often seen people with spiritual gifts lean into their own feelings which involves the moon sign, when instead of just allowing spirit to move through them. Interesting. And she says, just allowing the spirit to flow. That's what I was saying about not leaning too much into your moon. Everyone has a spiritual gift. One must align his or her spirit to a right frequency. I like that. I
Exactly.
like that. And
Mm-hmm.
I
now,
agree.
how do you do you how can I ask the questions? I want to know, how do you know if it's a gift, if it's intuition, if it's ego, when spirit is speaking through you? How do you know? For those of you who are in the audience who spirit speaks through, how do you know when it's spirit or when it's you or when it's your ego or intuition? How do you know?
Well,
That it. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. You want to start?
no, you start.
Okay. Um, so I teach psychic medium development, and I do a mentorship program with people. And one of the things that I learned when I was training is learning to know when you're working out of ego, when you're working out of your head versus working from the soul or the spirit. And it takes time to start to understand, you know, where this thought is coming from or where this is going. So this is kind of like, you're you feel the connection of the message, that this isn't something like, I know many times there are things that I have said to people. It's like, I don't know them. This isn't coming from my ego, because it's like, what for? But it is like the knowing of what to say at that moment. And as far as like, let me say it this way, because when you're working on your gifts, you learn to surrender to spirit. And when you're surrendering to spirit, it's like all thoughts, all ego is set aside. You start to learn that. It's learning how sometimes, you get, people get confused and they'll speak out of ego versus speaking, allowing the spirit to speak through them. And so it's a process of learning the difference, really.
Yes, I
It
agree.
really is the process of learning the difference. And, to whom much is given, much is required. And so the saying that, I had learned is less of me, more of thee, less of me, more of thee, talking about spirit. So, and I kind of know when I'm hearing something or when I want to say something, where it's coming from in my body. You can tell,
Yep.
because when I know I'm saying something that isn't ordained by spirit, it's like I feel that
Yep.
tightening,
Mm-hmm.
that tightening. So you gauge, like, okay, that's me.
Mm-hmm.
That's not spirit.
Mhm.
So you start to like, that's ego.
Mm-hmm.
For me, that's where astrology comes into play, Tange, is when I know that certain parts of my personality shows up in a Leotine way. And being that Leo is my rising, she becomes very like Miss Jean say, I feel it in my body. I can feel the lion rise.
Mm.
Feel my ego rise. I can feel my chest rise. I feel like this pride come over me, but it's unmerited. It's like, why are you puffing up? Like, what's wrong? What's going on? And literally, it's me inside of me going, what's your problem? What's happening right now? But my body is responding like we have to defend ourselves. We have to armor ourselves. And that's always ego, where spirit will be quiet as heck.
Mm-hmm.
Spirit just comes over you like a breeze and goes,
Yes.
talk to them. And I'll go,
Yeah.
Yeah.
who was that? Like all of a sudden you're like thrown, but it's so sure. in you. It doesn't feel loud and proud like my
Yes.
ego and like that Leo energy that wants to come up.
Yes.
It feels very quiet and
Uh-huh.
unassuming, but it pierces and it
Yes.
goes through the body as opposed to staying stuck in the mass of my
Yes.
body.
Yes.
You know?
Very
Yeah.
well said. I cannot even. I
Thank you.
was going to add to it, but as you're as you're saying it, that is a feeling that I'm having as we started this. Is I love that spirit is here with all of us right now because that feeling that you're talking about is all over me. It's just like this cool, nice, sweet,
Yeah.
gentle feeling that just runs like a stream of energy through your body all the way through, and
Yeah.
it's just, and because as you said, you learn, it's a process. I mean, I hate to put it in this vernacular, but it's like going to school. You have kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, and I had to learn the difference as well because I remember in the beginning I was so excited about having my gifts that I would just be rambling and talking all fast, and then it was, and to the point I said, oh, was that me? I was so excited about giving the person the message that instead of just stopping at the message, I would add to
Mm-hmm.
try and,
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yep.
thinking, well, maybe they didn't understand it that way. So now I'm going to tell them this way. Well, maybe they
Mm-hmm.
didn't get it this way. I'm going to tell Spirit said, I didn't ask you all that.
Right.
I didn't
Mm-hmm.
Right.
ask
Yeah.
you to do that.
Yeah.
Right.
Give them the message and just as a disclaimer, just tell them this is for you. And, when you have a moment, go sit with yourself and just sort of absorb and understand because that was for you. I don't have the whole, meaning of it. That
Yes.
is because it's for you.
Right. Right.
So
When
it
I
does take time.
when I was younger, I would find people would ask me questions and the answers would come out of me, right?
Hmm.
This is teenager, 20s and stuff. And people would say, I should write a book. I should write a book. But I never knew what to write a book because it never came from me. It
Hmm.
would just come through me whenever I was talking to someone. And I
Yeah.
start, like you say, Sonja Marie, feeling when spirit would be talking and it would be coming through. And then I could tell when I was adding in and getting lost and not knowing what I was talking about. And I learned how to shut it off. So Timmy says it's a feeling strongly laid in your heart to do. Ironetta says, I allow the stillness to guide me. I can tell what feels authentic and spirit based. I didn't always have this connection. By going deeper within, I connect more.
Yeah.
Robert says, you separate your thoughts from your spirit.
Yeah.
And Amrayat, hope I said that right,
That's
said,
Roxy. You can call her Roxy.
hey, Roxy says spirit is calm, quiet, and direct. The vibrations in my entire being match all of that with peace. Ooh, and my reaction is happiness and sometimes laughter. Oh,
Yep.
Miss Butler loves you. Okay, and then when it's ego, Roxy says, I question it and it feels more anxiety.
Mm.
Yes.
So so, how all of you have such great examples on how you can feel it in your body. So, what can someone who doesn't yet know how to feel that in their body, what can they do in order to learn how to feel the difference? Like for me, I would say try it on little things, try to listen on little things. Like you remember I said the reason I cut my hair was because this
Mm-hmm.
voice kept saying, it's time to cut it. It's time to cut it. And I was like, no. And then I prayed to find some keys. The same voice said, they're in the closet. I cut my hair. So I learned the voice by testing it. What are some practical tools that people can use to develop this skill or learn that voice?
Um, go
I'll let
ahead.
her go.
Go on, Carlin. Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, again, we're all different.
I
We're
just
all
want to help,
different.
even if what
So
you did just helps
yeah,
three.
so for me, one of the things I had to do, because a lot of times I'm so full of energy, I'm moving around. It took me time to sit still. And everybody talks about, oh, it's so hard to sit still. So I was led by spirit. I didn't have to like try to figure it out. God opened the opportunity for, because he'll use other people because he knows you. And he said, I know she's not going to sit still. She's not going to do this. So I'm going to open up an opportunity for her to explore something she's never done before. And for me, it was breath work.
Okay.
Okay. So I remember someone asked me, and I thought it was just sitting, going, breathing. And it wasn't. I get into class, I'm asked to lay down, I follow instruction. And before I knew it, it immediately opened up my gift to a higher level immediately. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Mm.
And so once I realized that's what I needed and that's how I was going to connect to source, that's what I used. Someone may use something else,
Breath
but for
work.
me, it was breath work.
And do you teach breath work, Karolyn?
I don't teach breath work, but I offer it in my services. So when someone comes to me, depending upon what the service is and what I'm led by spirit, because as I'm talking to my client, spirit might tell me that this person, you may need to do a little bit of breath work with them. So I do know, and I use breath work all the time.
Okay. Okay. Sonja Marie?
For me, it was practice. I'm my kind of personality. I'm a um I'm a trial and error kind of cat. You know,
Okay.
it's
Right.
just who I come from. It's like when I would hear an instruction, hear something that spirit is saying, and I would do it, I would track that, right? Meaning,
Mhm.
like, if I heard God say, go to the left, and I say, okay, I don't know who this is God or me? I'm gonna go to the left. As I go to the left, I find out there's this woman that I haven't seen in a long time. After seeing her, she offers me a job. After offering me a job, I
Mm.
end up going out with this guy. I go out with this guy, and all of a sudden, we're in love for 5 years. Then we break up. But the bottom line, the bottom line is that there's a through line. I track it and I said, oh, it started out from me hearing that voice, sort of like you said about your hair getting cut. It started out from me hearing that voice that said, go left. Now I would do
Yeah.
the same thing with the other voice. If that other voice led me right and it led me to doing some crazy stuff, I'm like, maybe she's not the one. Maybe that voice is not the voice that's leading me with spirit. Is leading me from ego or in a whole nother way, you know. In any case, that's what I use. I utilize practice, and I think for me it works, and for some people it could work because at the same time it's us learning ourselves, right? It's learning who we are. It's learning how. That's why we here. I'm sorry, I
Yes.
interrupt myself. That's why we
She's right there.
we are on the planet to figure it out. I used to
Yes.
call it the gym. This is where we work the thing out.
Yes.
You know what I mean? If we can't laugh at ourselves, if we can't do trial and error, if we can't figure it out, if we can't make mistakes, then why are
Yes.
we here?
Yes. Yes. That's
No?
beautiful.
Yeah.
That's one thing. I'm not afraid of making mistakes anymore.
Mhm.
Mm.
Good for you.
Miss Jeane July, do you have an
So
example for us?
yeah, um, for me, it's sitting still and taking time to meditate. And
Meditate.
meditation comes in different forms. So it's not always about sitting. Some people find that they meditate better just walking and by the water, you know, walking
Yes.
through nature. And when we do that, it is the moment and the intention is I just want to get in touch with myself.
Sure.
I just want to
I
get in touch
in
with
touch
them.
with myself by being alone, by using this time, which I use as my meditation time.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
and when you're in that space, it's okay to have the intent to ask to speak to spirit and say, I just want this time to hear from you.
Mhm.
You
Absolutely.
know, it's that time of connection.
Mhm.
You know, your
Time.
divine self, yeah, the divinity that is you connecting to the divine.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's that moment, I just want to be able to just connect with you and be still, or walk in, in nature, just sit by the water, whatever it is. It's like, this is my time. And when we start to practice that, we'll be able to hear that quiet voice that speaks to us, our higher self, I
Mhm.
call it. It's our
Absolutely.
higher self. And we'll be able to recognize when we hear something, where it's coming from,
Mm-hmm.
versus
Mm-hmm.
like what we said earlier, the voice of panic and fear and anxiety. You know, that's not that's not us.
Mm-hmm.
Us is that quiet part of us. And these are the
Mm-hmm.
things that you can do, to
Mhm.
be able to know that voice.
Yeah.
And
I love
grounding
it.
is really good too.
Grounding. It's
Grounding.
interesting. Everything that y'all are saying is doing exactly what Minister Jeane just said. It's different ways to connect with self.
Mhm.
Let's see. Robert says reading and practice, then trust your instincts and learn your brain how it works. Angela says agree with the practice, and people that we are helping should know that we're not God. Most definitely. Timmy says, I believe prayer plays a major role in learning to hear, differentiate, understand, and communicate what the Spirit is saying or doing through us. Timmy, let me tell you. So I have been journaling because that's one way that I've been working to develop my gifts. And before, I was saying, I welcome all of you to come and speak through me. And I showed one of my guests my journal, and it was just all fragmented. And guess what she said? She said I had everybody trying to speak through at one time, and I could tell it was disconnected. And I would just write
Oh
down
my
whatever it
goodness.
was that I heard, whatever I heard. And she told me to pray, like you just said, Timmy. She said, pray and say that you have to have a vibration that is higher than mine and above the archangels, you know. And now it's more complete.
Coherent.
I see that prayer. Angela says, and I love that too. Angela says, I love that Sonja Marie used to always say, I'm not God, y'all, or astrology is not God, but a tool to help us. Sonja Marie is the one that will put you on your path. And when you're listening, because her one of your gifts is to zero in on what needs to be worked on. You go right in there, and that's when for me I've learned to let my ego go because I'd be like, and she'll stay on it like a surgeon. And now I just sit and go,
I'm like, why you fighting me, Change? Why you fighting
no, I give up. I give up.
me?
Paul says, try the spirit by the spirit. Yes, to see if it's of
Absolutely.
God. Yes.
Absolutely.
Timmy says meditation. And Roxy says, I learned to take a moment to see if these same vibrations came up and what the situation was. I learned to breathe so that I could either be still if it was ego or if spirit, what I need to do. Interesting. And Charles says, remember, you are also spirit.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Were you getting ready to say something else? It felt like something else was coming.
No, I wasn't. I was just, there was an exclamation point after that. That's why I
I,
felt like that.
one one thing that y'all are making me think about when my mother died, it was like she was on vacation. You know, I wasn't sad most of the time. But then there would be moments where I was so sad that the pain was unbearing, even though I knew she was better off. And
Yeah.
then after I would have that pain, I would see somebody that would say, oh my goodness, Tangie, look, I have this picture of you when you were 3. I knew your people in Kentucky. Or I go on and she's on vacation, and then I would have a pain, and then I miss her so bad, and then it would be an old ex-boyfriend. And this kept happening, kind of like what you said, Sonja Marie. And then so I started connecting the dots, and I said, whenever it hurts so bad, whenever I miss her so much that it hurts, that's when she's there saying,
Yeah.
it's a message coming from you,
Yeah.
Tangie.
Yeah.
Coming for you, Tangie.
That's sweet.
Okay. Robert says, you all are great humans. Oh, I'm from South Africa.
Oh, thank
Oh,
you.
I would like to join
Shay.
you next time. Please do.
That's sweet.
That was very, very sweet. Very, very sweet. Very, very sweet. What time do we have? 6:45. What
Uh,
is, go ahead. Somebody said something.
I did. There was something I wanted to touch on about, having spiritual gifts. And one of the things that I know, and I'm sure we all have grew up in the church one way or another, always
Yes.
to church. So we have those people who have gifts in the church, who are in the church.
Yes.
And a lot of people will not admit that they have them for various reasons. One is they're afraid of them because of the stigma that may come with it from the church. Second is they may be in a church that does have the spiritual gifts, they allow it to happen, but then they're told you cannot use them outside the church.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thirdly, you may have someone who's in a church that don't believe in spiritual gifts at all. And
Wow.
so it stifles people, and the whole idea of, you know, like I said, the stigma of, well, you're here, you're seeing dead people, and you're seeing them here, and you're getting these messages. Well, that's of the devil, because a lot of people hear that.
Yeah.
That's not working with God.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so people who have these extraordinary gifts, they stifle them and they push them down. And it's like you said, Sonia, they're not going to go away.
Nope.
No.
It's just not going to go away.
Nope.
So that's one of the things that I know that I've come across. There's this whole fear of, when you're working with spirits, you're going to attract demons. And that's not the case.
Yeah.
Again, you're working with spirits of high frequency, of higher light, and you learn to know who it is, who's coming forth, who is this you're feeling. But again, we're spirits first, and we're also light.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of thing. One of the things that I had thought about before I came on tonight is, those persons out there who feel like they can't admit or cannot vocally say, I have gifts, out of fear.
Yeah.
There's nothing to be afraid of, nothing at all. You get with someone who can help you nurture your gifts if you wish. How you use them is between you and God.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody's meant to do what the three of us do here.
Mm-hmm.
Sonja, Karolyn, myself. Not everybody's meant to be doing this professionally. But
Mm-hmm.
if you have a gift, and you know that it's present, you know that it's there, then that's when you have a discussion between you and God about, how do you want me to use it from where I am.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Like the young man earlier who was saying he has this gift of compassion,
Mm-hmm.
right? Doesn't
Mm-hmm.
mean that he needs to come into and think that, oh, now that means I have to go and be this, on not, I want to say, for lack of a better word, stage to show my compassion. That could mean that maybe he joins an organization that helps people And
Yeah.
you might show compassion where there's an event and it says we need people to come out to volunteer to help give away food or set up, so you can use your gifts in different capacities, and it doesn't always have to be shown. It doesn't have to be put out there for everyone to know, because there's sometimes people think that, oh, my gift has to be, the world has to see it. If your gift is a pretty smile, and every day you go into the store and you smile at somebody and they smile back, that is a gift.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be a big on stage gift. Like, you know how you've heard those stories about, there's a janitor. Be the best janitor. Be the best shoe shine man. Be the best car wash, whatever. You have gifts that nobody else has. And once you realize that, it doesn't, because I think a lot of times people think that that's like, again, you have celebrities and everybody thinks that, oh, I want to be like that celebrity. It's no, let that person do their thing and you do yours, but you have to reside and trust and love who you are and be connected above and below to be able to just enjoy that gift that you have. But it is important, like Jeane said, to listen, because I remember I had a situation where, again, being in the church and again being led by the structure of the church. It's only supposed to be that way. You have the pastor in the pulpit, you have the choir, you have the ushers, you have the mothers, the fathers, and you're just supposed to sit in the pew and listen and glean, and I read and study. But I was called, and then it just got so uncomfortable. God actually removed me in the middle of service, and so it has been a wonderful awakening, a wonderful awakening.
Mm.
Yes.
So thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. So what I'm hearing is it's really great to have a personal relationship with God so that you can have faith when your gift starts to show forth if there's opposition. That's why I wonder how will people know if they're on the right path? Will it feel good even when it feels like God removing you? For some people could be like, ah, we already know it was a beautiful thing. So for the amen corner who have not yet fully developed their gift, we would say these are my last three questions. You have a gift if you blah blah blah. One of the ways to keep developing that gift is blah blah blah, and you're on the right path if you blah blah blah. Can we give them something like that, or are the gifts too broad for that?
I personally think the gifts may be too broad for that, but I also believe that it could be as simple as you starting from what feels good for you.
That's what I was thinking. What
Yeah.
feels yes.
What feels good to you? What feels right? What feels natural? What feels like water? What feels like ease? You
Know
know,
thyself.
know thyself, and
Yeah.
also be easy on yourself, right? We live in a world in which conditioning is thick, and we have to take time oftentimes to chisel off decades and lifetimes of conditioning, in which can prohibit us from tapping into those gifts, from even recognizing those gifts. So it's really easy to be hard on ourselves. Like once, like I think Carlin said, or someone said earlier about, keeping up with the Joneses, staying up with what's going on social media and comparing ourselves to all things and all people. Like, be easy on you. And sometimes, most of the time, our gifts, the things that are for us, come to us a lot easier when we're easy, as opposed to putting up restriction, as opposed to pushing it back, as opposed to even being harried to receive it. We don't have to be harried. We
Yeah.
already got it. We just need we sometimes need for it to just be revealed.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah.
Josie literary. I think I'm saying her name right. She said people shamed her for mine in the church, called her crazy for prophetic dreams that came to pass. And that
Mm.
made me think about a family member of mine that was talking to me. And I was telling her about an experience I had where I saw spirits. And she was, like, I wish I had experiences like that. But she has God in a different box. I
Yeah.
don't have him. Like, for me, he's all over the place, you
Yes.
know? And I wouldn't say either is wrong. I would say it's just a choice. What were you getting ready to say, Miss Jean? Please forgive me for
No,
interrupting.
you didn't. You didn't. Um, the last person who made the comment, God bless you, and I'm so sorry that it made you feel so small in using your gifts, and that people labeled you as, lunatic or whatever it is they wanted to call you. And I hope that you have more of a realization of who you are now and what your gifts are, and that you have a relationship with God, with spirit, and that you ask them, how do I use my gifts to serve you? Because anything that is ordained by God is easy, smooth, and successful.
Boom.
Ooh, wait a
That's it.
minute.
Boom.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Anything that is ordained by God
Yep.
is easy, smooth, and successful. Go ahead.
Uh-huh.
I had to write that down. Please
That's
go ahead.
okay, because you're going to have people who are not going to accept you and not going to accept your gifts, but you are not concerned with their reasoning, man's reasoning. You're seeking the wisdom of God, and you're seeking the wisdom of all that is holy. And so it doesn't matter, it is hard. I have to share, I'm not a black, I'm not the black sheep of the family, but I'm the odd one. I'm the odd one, you know
Me
nobody
too.
else is doing this. Yeah, nobody else is doing this. We all can say that, right? And I will say, at times, especially as I got more into this, or even, when I was younger, and I had experiences, but as I really stepped into this, and I started to see how I was just kind of on the outside of what everybody else is doing, family, friends. It's like that, they see me only one way. But when you stepped into who you are, it's like, I'm in this, I'm grounded into who I am. And spirit understands that. They understand that it can be lonely at times. This work can be lonely at times, but what I love is that they'll bring the right people to you, to
Yes.
be
Yes.
that support, to be that family. And it'll all come. It'll all come and comfort you, and having that community. So you'll find your tribe, you find your
Yes.
community, you know
Fine.
of like-minded people.
I remember praying for my tribe.
Yeah, me too.
Um,
Hmm.
Me too. And I often found out that being lonely was Spirit's way of allowing us to move through situations a little bit early. Spirit is going to go in the line of evolution. Human beings want to stay stuck for power and for control. You
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
know, so when Spirit is moving you out of the pack, being a black sheep, being a little early, being a little weird, you going along, we are going alongside of that spiral that's evolving upward, or as that's evolving, period. Human
Yes.
beings find their way after a while. I.e., 20 years ago, everybody was laughing about folks doing yoga. Everybody said it was a white person's
and
game.
Reiki.
Everybody said
Mhm.
that, that taking these herbs, you look crazy. What? You ain't have no, you don't want chicken? You don't want barbecue? Now all of a sudden,
Yeah, yeah,
everybody's a vegan.
yeah,
Everybody's a vegan.
Yep.
Everybody got locks. Everybody's taking colon cleanse.
yes,
Everybody's doing the thing.
Yes.
yes.
Okay. Because there were a few strangers, in quotes. There was a few oddballs. There were a few brave souls that
Oh
listened.
my gosh.
That
Yes.
listened. and say, you know what, I
Oh,
want to take this path. Because in my quiet
Oh my
time, God
gosh.
is like, your intestines is bugging out. You need to do this. You
Mm-hmm.
did?
Oh my gosh. I know
oh,
we've all been teased about that.
Yes, ma'am.
All of it.
Yes, ma'am. I remember going home to Yonkers once. This was in 92, and I had cut all of my hair off, shaved it all the way down, lower than Tangie's.
wow.
And some friends back there, they cursed me out. Like literally, how what? You look like a boy. Blah, 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 blah. It was all the abuse and everything. Cut to going on Facebook, the same person.
Stop it.
Because you know, Facebook will tell you. Facebook will tell you because everybody and their grandma's on Facebook, right? The same
Oh
person
my
there was
gosh.
like Tangie, short,
That is so
cut, little
funny.
apple. I said, ain't this a gosh darn thing? Look at this thing.
Mhm,
Look at this. So
mhm.
the moral of the story is when spirit talks, listen, because spirit got you evolving. Spirit got you doing the work on real time,
Yes.
in real space, not
Yep.
compared to what humans are doing. That's not real time.
No.
They follow a clock. They
Yeah.
follow a clock in a Gregorian calendar. Spirit don't follow that.
I know. And I often get a little beside myself when I think that people are following trends.
That's exactly what
You
we
know?
saying.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because
So
there's control there. There's commonality there.
Mm-hmm.
There's, you can't point me out. I said to a
Yes.
friend the other day, no, I'm not going to say that because I don't
no,
want
go ahead. This sounds real good.
I don't want to offend anybody because I might literally be describing one or two people on here.
Oh,
But there's types, right?
yes.
All of a sudden you see women just exposing their boobs and hair the way that it is. And again, I just think that everybody could do whatever it is they want to do. However, there is a type. There is a trend. There is a vibration in which people will jump on because it's doing what? Giving that type attention,
Yes.
Mm.
giving
Speeding.
that type money, giving that type accolades. And I think, I just think that we should dare to be ourselves.
Dare to
Absolutely.
be
Mm.
ourselves.
Dare to be ourselves.
Dare
And
to be
that's
ourselves
perfect
and
when
be
we
consistent, right?
be consistent.
Be
When we're
Yep.
discussing spiritual gifts, for those of you or us, I'll put me in the us, who are still developing ours, a few brave souls, Sonja Marie said, dare to be different. So if our gift comes different, like if my gift, if I just get a good feeling but don't get the words, it's okay. Right? It's
First
okay.
of all, you do have gifts. I wanted to stop you about 20 minutes ago.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
You
You
like
do.
highlighted the three of us, like,
Yes.
Yep.
like,
I wasn't gonna say anything yet, but I was
yeah.
thinking it though. It's like you
I'm
are
glad you
gifted,
brought it
Tangie.
back around. But this
Yes.
Yes.
young sister too, Tangie,
Yes, Miss Tangie.
I'm
Well,
the youngest of the bunch, but she's young too. She has gifts too, y'all. And
Yes.
regardless, like you were about to allude, however they show up, it is a gift.
however it
Maybe
shows
maybe it's on track to develop and show up in different ways. Maybe it hasn't finished. Maybe it's morphing. Yeah. Okay, but it's still a gift.
it's still a gift. So all of us that are morphing, we have to accept our morph. We have to, I'm gonna celebrate mine tonight in the midst. Okay, one more question. It's 7:03. My sister is fanning. I actually have a couple of more questions. One, if the person's ears are ringing, because people really have been saying, my ears are ringing. What does that mean? Is it
Oh
that
my
I need to go to the
gosh.
doctor and get it checked, or is something else happening? If they're burping, what does that mean? Is it my intestines or is it something else
Listen.
happening? If I don't know, are those signs of developing gifts or
Well,
going to a different dimension or
it depends on what's happening at the moment with them. The
eye
burping part,
twitching? Yes,
eye
Bree said
twitch.
eye twitching. Oh my goodness. Our eyes, yes. Go ahead.
Yeah. And I think it depends on what's happening at the moment with them. Like I would get ringing in my ears. and it would come at the most. It's like, where is this coming from? First, I was thinking I had tinnitus, but that wasn't it.
Mm-hmm.
But I would get these ringing in my ear, and from what I understand, it's getting downloads. You're getting downloads from the spirit world. You're getting downloads, and the downloads could be, wisdom or something of knowledge that's coming through.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's one thing. I know. I knew one person. She was also getting ringing in the ear, but when she felt the spirit coming in, her left leg would twitch. Her left leg would start shaking. So if you're feeling like there's this energy coming in, the body will react in a certain way. For me, I feel like the whole left side of my body goes heavy. It's just like someone's pressing down on me. But certain things may happen if you feel like there's this energy or spirit that's coming in, especially if you have if especially if it's in a mediumistically, you feel like you can, people from the other side are contacting you.
Yes.
Then it's like the body can react in different ways. It could be eye twitching, it could be whatever.
Question, Miss Jeane. So, did your whole left side feel heavy before you have fully developed the gift, or did that happen after it was more developed?
Before.
Wow. So, y'all, if you feeling your little left side do something.
But everybody is different, though. We don't want to be general. We
don't generalize. You cannot generalize it.
No, I didn't want to generalize it for them. Yeah. What in my mind I'm saying is, if there's something going on with your body, it could be, for her it was the left side even before. For somebody else, it might be the eye twitching.
Again, if it's consistent, if it's something that consistently happens out of the norm, and you start going, okay, what is happening? Like for her, for me, it's like this whole entire time, my ears are just ringing. My body is filled with energy, like streamy, heavy streams. But the other one that really I had to learn how to, I don't like to use the word control, but again, being mindful of the stage or where I'm at, is stuttering.
Okay.
So when I realized that continuously happened, I had to sit with Source and ask, how would you like me? And so it was a moment, it was a time, a shift, an expansion, upward, outward, that I had to learn. When that starts to happen, just take a deep breath and visualize grounding so that I can deliver what the Spirit is saying. So everyone's going to be different, and you just have to learn, know thyself, so that you know those symptoms. You might get really cold. Some people get really hot. Some people's, for a minute, my nose would run. I always had to have a hanky. My nose would just start running, like embarrassingly. The Spirit would come over me and it's just dripping. I'm like, oh my, so different things will happen for different people. But again, pay attention.
There was a long time for me that nothing would happen, meaning like I would just see people. I would just recognize spirit come over me all of a sudden. And in my readings, I would see people's ancestors in my head. And I usually say it's like you looking at me right now, but you also know what your kitchen looks like. Or if you know where your car is parked. Or what your son or your daughter looks like. It's the same. I can see the image, but I can also see what's in front of me.
Oh, that's excellent. I saw that.
Yeah. But quite recently, though, I don't know where it came from. And it could be like reaching another plateau, but I tracked it again. All of a sudden, I would see a face and I would start to do this. And I felt like I was having Tourette's or something. I was like, what the heck is that? And I'm like, maybe that's just me. Then all of a sudden I go on. And next day I see somebody's grandmother and my neck would jump again. I'm like, oh, that's how they enter. I started calling it my entry point. It's a way in which it's the way in which they decide to nudge you to come on through. And for me, it was literally them sitting in my body, because they would say, my clients would say, I would say a thing like them, or I'd start pointing, or I would move my neck in a way that they would say, or move their neck, and like, well, you look just like her doing that. And I'm like, I don't know, I'm just doing it. But that would be their entry point. And it would literally come through my neck. So again, everybody is different, but I do love the fact that I do stand on the fact that we have to track it. That's how we learn ourselves.
Track it. Oh, that's good. So we track it. So whether it's spirit or we need to go to the doctor.
Right. Is the point.
Yeah.
Because if somebody shows up and you do that thing or whatever, oh, that's probably spirit. But if you do that thing and nothing is being shown to you, like, is that my body? Let me wait for that to happen again. Oh, yeah, that might be my body, because I don't, track it.
Track it. I like that. Yes. Thank you. Robert said, when God is done cooking your spirit, you come out blooming and shining, and you don't become black anymore. It's such a beautiful feeling. Peaceful spirit makes you different, and it can't be explained. Okay. Timmy has a question. What does it mean to be a chosen one? And can we all be chosen? They said only a few percentage of people are awake, while others are just drifting.
Wow.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, that's that whole adage we was just talking about, the trend and the group of folks and the humans taking their time with it, Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry, Jeane.
No, you go ahead, Sonja. Please finish.
No,
go ahead.
I'm finished.
What does it mean to be a chosen one, and can we all be chosen?
Well, here's the deal, and I believe in this very much, that we're chosen to be here at this time.
Bon.
We're chosen to be born during this time, to live on this earth at this time. We're all chosen to be here. So there's no, just like only a select few that have been really chosen to do that. Yes, there are people who have who have descended on earth to do something specific, as far as being, like, say, MLK, Martin Luther King, he's here. He came here to do something specific. People have come here to be president of a country, to be rulers, to be leaders, to do certain things.
He murdered and started a revolution.
Well, they've chosen their experience.
Yeah, they've chosen experience. And they said, I've come here to do this. I'm coming here to do this. Even looking at, we're looking at Jesus, Buddha, I've come here to do this. Okay. And it has affected the world. It has affected the world, what they've done, what they do. So all of us have been chosen to be here to do something.
And I think we said it earlier too, talking about even if you're not Buddha or Jesus or Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, I believe it was Karolyn or Miss Jeane, I don't know. If you're the man on the street that just sits there and says hi when people walk by, or the lady at the grocery store who is nice when she rings the groceries, or who occasionally lets somebody take a sweet potato when she knows she doesn't have any money. You're saying we're all chosen to be here, whatever it is. Just do your best. The common theme here is know thyself, listen to your spirit, trust your spirit, and you will be on your path doing what it is that you're supposed to be doing. Do y'all agree, Ms. Jeane?
Yeah. And if I could add to that some of it, we're chosen to be here. All of us are chosen to be here. And it could be you were chosen to be here at this particular time in order to save this person's life.
Yeah.
Or you could be here for a disruptor.
Yeah.
Or be here to be a disruptor.
Exactly.
Because that's
Exactly.
important too. There's,
Yeah.
there's a balance. Just like in our bodies, there's a balance. There's a female and there's a receiving and giving.
Yep.
It works hand in hand. So sometimes that we'll look at things that look bad. If we take a moment and flip it, what is the purpose of that disruptor?
Yep.
This disruptor sometimes comes to show us what that person talked about earlier: compassion,
Yep.
empathy,
Yep.
love.
Yep.
But we won't know it unless we're disrupted.
Yep. Yep.
Yes.
We ain't
I,
gonna
I
mention any names, but yeah. Oh, go
I'd
ahead.
like to share a point because Bree kind of touched on that in the comments in regards to how am I not afraid?
Oh, I was going to get to that. Yeah.
Yeah, when spirits do show up in my mind as an image, Bree, you know why? And to everybody else, because at first, in order to see them, ancestors, guides, and folks, I would see them solidly, like literally coming around the corner. It would look like a body, but I knew it wasn't there. Scared the shit out of me, the literal shit, to the point where I was like, we can't do this. I'm gonna crash. I'm driving, I'm gonna be up a tree or something. I'm gonna fall and trip and bust my lip. So a mentor of mine said, you can negotiate. We have these gifts. And in my opinion, in which I utilized it, in my opinion, I don't believe that God's spirit, the source of all great things, gives us this gift to punk us, to scare us, to dare us, to beg us, to persuade us, to push us. That's human energy and human emotions in which humans put on the gift, right? I think the gift is there and we definitely have the co-creation to utilize it. So we have the ability and the power to negotiate and speak to spirit and go, hey, spirit,
Absolutely.
I want to do this thing. I want to help you out, is what I said, Bree. But I can't have them showing up to me solid, because solid would just drive me crazy. You're gonna drive me to drink out this mug. Like no. So
Yeah.
Spirit said, okay, then I'll show it to you like this. And it was how I explained it to y'all, Bree, right? And that way is a whole lot less evasive than seeing them come around a corner. I'd rather be looking at you and then all of a sudden I get a flash of somebody's grandmother and I'm like, oh, hey, how you doing? All right, you're up next. As opposed to seeing them in my face and getting confused. So negotiation is a powerful tool we have as a co-creator. If you don't know what your power is, you don't know what your gift is, you can ask. When you figure out what it is, you can ask them how to utilize it. If it comes on too strong, say, no, God, I don't want to do it like that. Can we do it like this? The bottom line is that you have to do it. You got to do it. So you got to find a way to communicate with source to figure out how you're going to leave that thing here.
Yeah. It's true. I've told several people at one time that several times that, they'll get waken up in the middle of the night because some spirit wants to talk to them, or they starting to see the spirits from the other side to talk to them. And we're talking family members or people that they knew or even just a random spirit. And, it interrupts their sleep. And so basically I said, they don't understand time and they don't understand the boundaries of this earth and theirs. So, and remember that they lower their frequency to the point where, to talk to you. But you can easily say, look, and I've had to do this actually with a couple of spirits. And I've had to say, look, I will pay attention to you. I promise you, but not now.
I need to go to sleep.
I need to go to sleep. You're not going to disturb my sleep. Let's just be real clear. You must respect my time. And they listen.
Not 9.5 times out of 10, they abide, right?
Yes, they listen. And they're like, okay, and they don't bother you.
Well, I got a crazy question. I got a crazy question. Have they ever interrupted you when you were intimate?
Come on now.
No.
I'm just curious. I don't know. I I'm, I know when my aunts, different people passed, I felt uncomfortable walking around naked in the house for a while.
No.
This is
That's a human thing.
It is.
I
Humans
know.
humans
I
get
know.
weird around sexuality and love making and all the things. They don't care about that.
So they don't. So that's why I asked, because when you said that they don't care about the time and when you're sleeping, if they don't care about any of that, then they can pop up anytime.
But no, they wouldn't do that because we're busy, is the point.
Yes.
Like we're engaged into something else. So they know that we're engaged in pleasure, we're engaged in a whole nother level of spirituality because sex
Right.
is spiritual. And why would they interrupt that? Why would they interrupt that flow? They'll wait till we're
Right.
done.
You
But I
better
do
Right.
have a
go
funny
ahead and
story.
speak that power.
I do have a
Well,
funny
you
story.
know,
I remember laying in the bed and waking up in the middle of the night, and I was going through a really bad time in life. And I had my hand behind my head and I looked up in the ceiling and I could see a half circle of all the matriarchs that have passed over. My two grandmothers, my two great grandmothers, and a couple of aunts. And they were all talking about me as if I wasn't there. Well, what you gonna do about that? I don't know. That's your granddaughter. That's your granddaughter. And then my aunt would be, I told you she was a fast ass when she was 20. Like they was all talking shit. I was like, oh my God, hello, I'm here. And they look down at me, they're like, whatever. So what we gonna do?
Wow.
In console, is that the word? It was like
Yes.
in a console about me. They was like, they came together and I said, this is something y'all acting like I'm not here. So and adjacent to that question, they show up when they need to show up, and they
I
let
was
you
getting
know.
ready to. They will warn you, and
That's
my experience was
beautiful.
in this act. Right, I'm with this person, and we were going through a difficult time, and my experience was his higher self showed up. Like we're laying next to each other. He's asleep, and I look over. I'm like, wait a minute, how are you standing here when you're here?
Wow.
Indeed.
And that happened twice, and it was a warning.
Wow.
That was
It's
Wow.
like his higher self was like, run,
Wow. Because his higher self knew
go
where
right
he was
now.
supposed to be. And they were like,
Yep.
Yeah.
wow.
I'll never forget that. It happened twice.
I got chills.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you tell him?
The first time I told him, because I remember I was going through the development of my gifts, and sort of, when you're going through the development and you're sharing with somebody, they're excited. So they're like, what did you see? And, I'm like, this was happening, And as I matured and my gifts started to develop and I understood everything is not to be shared.
How about
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Next
Yeah.
time I didn't share it.
How about that?
I said,
Yeah.
okay, I see you. Thank you.
Yeah.
And went along, didn't say peep. I said,
Yeah.
I know what that means.
Yeah.
And then
I
you
know.
started-
You came,
Yeah.
I didn't listen the first time. You had to come back and say, girl,
Right.
You tracked it, though. You
Right.
tracked it.
Yes, I did. I
Wow.
remember that.
And you're like, okay, this is
Tracked
for a
it.
reason.
Yes.
You tracked it. Wow, that's amazing. Okay,
That
let me
was
go back.
amazing.
Let me see what we missed over here. Let's see. Disruptor. Oh, Bree says, the conversation made her ask, am I afraid of my gift?
Mm.
Are
This
you, Bree?
conversation.
Yeah, I was going to say, are you?
Yeah. Are
Yeah,
you afraid?
you afraid of this gift? And if she is afraid, please think about what she can do. And I'll keep reading while y'all think about that. Camille
Can she
says,
share what her gift is?
And Bree, write down what I think is seeing, because she asked the question about Sonja Marie and if the people that she saw was scary. And then when Sonja Marie explained, that's when she said, made me, wonder, am I afraid of my gift? But we'll see what she says.
Okay.
Camille says, I was chosen to lead others and have led 12 since 1994. It was hard and sometimes it still is, but it's what I was chosen to do. Okay, I love it.
Okay.
Timmy says, yeah, I woke up at 3 a.m., grabbed my phone and stumbled on this live stream. Thank God I didn't negotiate. Yes, thank you.
Aw,
Thank you,
we're so
Timmy.
happy you
Um,
here, Timmy.
and Angela says, I'm learning. We had to learn everything is not to be shared. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Jonathan David. That was for me. Question for y'all. After this conversation, um, is Camille said, lead others to the other side.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Crossover. She means to
So
cross
she
over.
helps people cross over.
Lead others. Love it, Camille. Following your purpose.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
Camille was answering for Bree. Is that correct? Because Bree was the one who questioned her gift.
Yeah.
So, okay, lead others to the other side.
Well, that's
So
beautiful.
that is very beautiful.
Yeah.
That is very
Yeah.
beautiful.
I,
Right,
I I'm
exactly.
I'm curious to know, is she considered a death doula? Because that's a whole nother gift too.
Yeah.
A
I was
death
gonna
Yes.
doula.
ask
Yeah.
Yes. So Camille or Bree, are you considered or is she considered a death doula? I like to be with people as they pass. That's kind of crazy. Well, I can't say I like it, but the few times that I've done it, where I've held them till their body got
Hmm.
cold, I
Hmm.
actually enjoyed it and found that I was very good at it. But it wasn't um it was so instant. So it wasn't a death doula will be there for them the last few months before they pass, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
preparing them
and
and
even be with the family after
Yeah.
for a short
Yeah.
while. Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Here we go. Bree says, I'm afraid, but I'm starting to put my creativity out. I'm a leader, and sometimes I'm afraid to put myself out there. Fear of judgment, saying things wrong, etc. And Camille says, it is leading others to the other side. And it was hard to accept at first. Not when it's family. You can't get their spirit to accept it.
Hmm.
So it's you're saying it's not you don't enjoy it when it's family because you can't get their spirit to accept it. Interesting. So what would you say? I guess for the fear first with Bree saying afraid of judgment and saying the wrong things, what advice would you give to her? Because that's all about approval, right?
Hmm.
it takes time
So what advice would you give to her so that she could kind of that would be the advice. It takes time.
and
Relaxing.
practice.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I know that sounds, more like, oh, you're in school and you're practicing your gift. I don't know of another word, and if you ladies have another word, but it does. It takes practice.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's it- it's exercising your gifts
Yeah.
and practice. But one of the things that if it Camille who said this that she's afraid, I forget which one.
That's Bree who's
Bree.
afraid.
Okay. That Bree, that one of the things is to remove the judgment of yourself, because a lot of that is your judgment about what you do, and it is about understanding, because I understand that. I say that from experience, to remove what I think of myself and how others will view me. You know what I'm saying? I'm making
Mhm.
judgment about how others will view me because I'm making that judgment on me. Okay? If that
Mm.
makes sense. And
Yes.
so it is about really releasing what you think about it. You have to
Mm.
release what you think about it, and to understand that you have this gift. And I always say, if someone starts to oppose or make a comment or a judgment about it, it's like, well, you weren't given this assignment. I was.
Ooh, write that down, Bree. I like that. You weren't given that assignment. I
I
was.
was. This
She
is
said
my
that makes
assignment.
sense. She said
Yes.
that makes sense. Thank you. And Bree, I can tell you, these three ladies have been telling me I'm supposed to share more of myself. I'm supposed to share more. They kept telling me, and I'm like, what you mean? What you mean? A few days ago, I made a post where I shared more of me, and I felt very comfortable making the video, being honest. And I said, I'm just going to post it. And then I still haven't been able to look at it. And so it's good to have a support team because I messaged them and I told them, I think I messaged you, Miss Jeane,
You
and
did.
said, I'm scared, I'm nervous, I feel vulnerable. And I just let it ride because I really want to be in alignment. And now, girl, now it's like it seemed like it knocked down something, and I've just been putting everything out there. It's probably now I need to know when not to share.
She said,
So,
Yes.
you're right, Miss G.
"How
Yeah,
you doing, Sonya? I'm looking
I'm,
at you,
I,
Sonya.
I'm
she's
good.
doing
Sonya.
I, I want to be able to address Bree, but I want her permission.
Yeah, I'm looking. Are you all right?
Oh, I'm wonderful.
Okay.
This is such a public forum that
Yes.
I was
Yes.
tapping in deeper, but I don't want to intrude.
Yes.
So
wait, Bree, do you mind? Do you mind if Sonja Marie intrudes? She says, beautiful advice, ladies. Appreciate y'all. Yes, you
I'm
have
not purposely intruding, but
I can see them coming through, Sonya.
She has. Yes.
she said
yeah,
yes. You have permission.
I feel like what they were just saying to me, and this is no disrespect to the women in your family, but you're doing something that they didn't do. And that sounds like every woman's story, and especially during this time, but it's not. Um, I think oftentimes you compare yourself to what they did and how they did it. If you will be the better woman or a good woman or just as good as them if you did what it is that you needed to do. I don't know why I keep hearing the word Jezebel or
Oh,
like
mm,
floozy or you know
mm,
these judgment words that come up around you and your family or whatever, but you're not that. You're not that. You have the permission to fly and they didn't, unfortunately.
mm.
Not because they couldn't, is because they didn't, basically, in their life choices, in their neighborhood, whatever the case may be, they just didn't do it. So you have the opportunity to do it. I just want to say
Mm.
that.
Wow. She
I know,
says,
baby.
kid. Yeah.
It's
I'm not.
heavy. It's heavy on her because she's like she keeps. I used to call them the committee. It's like that committee of aunties and like what I was just describing earlier. Oh,
Mhm.
thank God, Brie.
Amen. Wonderful.
It's like
Yeah.
that committee that stays on your shoulder. Girl, I didn't do it. You didn't do it. You ain't gonna do it. Da, 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 da. And we carry that committee because in some way, oftentimes we see that as a badge of honor or something.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's not
Right.
a badge. It's not our problem. It's not our heavy. It's not our burden. They did the things that they did so we can be free,
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
and
Mhm.
sometimes, manipulation,
Yes.
sometimes, you know, I don't want to get too deep, but the manipulation and all the things of other people and the sadness that they couldn't outlive what they wanted to live. You know what I mean? They continue to put that, it's like they boomerang it back on you, you
Yeah.
know. Don't let that happen, Bree.
Yes. And you made me think about something too. Because I
Mhm.
grew up in a family where I heard, we heard Jezebel. Luckily, my mother didn't stick me in that, but we heard that. And so the women in my family lived a certain way in order to be right, to do right, to live a godly life. And Miss Minister Jeane, she talked to my ancestors. And you remember, you probably don't remember. You
I
said
do.
that, yes, she was, all of my aunts, my grandmother, and everybody was there. And that's how it looked to me looking at you. And Miss Jean said that they said to live, for me to live. They didn't enjoy a lot of their life trying to do the right thing. And so
Hmm.
for me to live, and a lot of what these sisters, you see, everybody said they're not the black sheep, but we all are different in our family. And it seems like in order to have this gift or these gifts, because God may have given you something that nobody else has, you got to be fearless in letting it come out. Beautiful, Sonja Marie. And that takes us to Camille, because Camille is the one who is helping people cross over, and
Hmm.
her family doesn't accept it. Three of them says it causes fear for them.
I wanted to mention something. We was talking about death dueling when Jean
That's
brought that
Camille.
up, being a death
That's
doula.
Camille. Yeah.
I think that's one of the. I mean, there's no judgment on any of our gifts, but that gift stands out to me.
Oh, yes.
It's absolutely beautiful. It's magical, and it's full circle. I equate it to birth. You know,
Yes.
I absolutely equate it to
Yeah.
us being born. It's the same kind of magic, the same kind of joy, the same type of uplift, the same type of celebration when we get the heck up out of here and go back home. You
Yes.
know, it blew my head off my shoulders to watch my great grandmother literally come up out her body in her last breath, hit the ceiling, and then dart right out the window. I was like, what the heck? Like, and it took me about 15 minutes to become human and start to cry. But before that, I was in awe.
Yes.
So death doulas, my point is that death doulas have that thing all in them, that
Yeah.
awe in them, that magic in them, that power, that
Yeah.
sustainability to hold people through this threshold of going back, of moving forward. That's powerful, Camille. Lean in it, baby, because it's not too many people that understand the beauty of dying.
That's right.
Mm.
It is really to help them to transition into who they originally are, and 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 the understanding that death doesn't come, life leaves.
Absolute.
Life leaves.
Absolute.
I just heard, and I think Sonia and I were together this last weekend, and we heard Dr. Charles say that the body goes back to the dust. It came from the dust, but the spirit,
Goes back to the
Like
dust.
yeah,
this is an illusion, he said.
this
This
is
is
the
all
illusion. All the illusion. We chose
this
to
is
look like
real.
this. Pieces of our ancestors all through us.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we are.
Mm.
Yeah.
But that's
Mm.
not. But the spirit is very much live. It never
Alive.
dies. It
It's
never
alive. I
dies.
just heard it said it's to live again. Like
To
when you
live
said that
again.
death doesn't live, death doesn't, you don't die. Your
Yeah.
spirit lives again.
Yes.
It lives again.
So Camille, with
Ooh,
all
Lord.
that they're saying to
Mm,
me, well,
mm.
how does that rest on you? Everything
Ooh,
that they're saying,
there.
how does that rest on you? Because she's the one that said her family was feeling a certain way. We have a question: is using nicotine products a sin? High point 5354. We're not talking about sins here. We're talking
No.
about spiritual gifts.
No.
Spiritual gifts.
Mm.
No judgment. You trust your own spirit on that one. And while we're
Yeah.
waiting for, what were you going to say? Hi, Philip from Australia. Hi, frat
Mm-hmm.
boy. What were you going to say, Miss Jean? I
No.
heard
I
you
was
say,
going to say, you know, how what you intake in your body is what you've decided to intake in your body. You know, um, and so we're not here to talk about what's sinful, what's not. As far as people doing weed, or they want to have a drink, or anything like that. That's not important. If you feel that what you're doing is a sin, that's how you feel.
That's how you feel. And and
Yeah.
and combining that with spiritual gifts,
Yeah.
if if you feel a gift coming on and you know that there are certain things that you do and then you track it. After
Mm-hmm.
I do this thing,
Mm-hmm.
after I do this thing for 3 days, I can't hear spirit. When I
Hmm.
do this thing, I hear spirit really really
Absolutely.
well.
Now that I
Whatever that is,
believe.
track it, and if it works with your gift, then you decide from there, and if it doesn't, then you make your decision from there. Do y'all have
Yes.
a comment about that before we move on?
I just wanted to say I think that was just planted as a little distraction. So God bless them and their nicotine. But can we go to what this young brother just said last,
Yes. Yes.
because that's a beautiful thing to highlight, the need to rest. Don't you agree, ladies? I'm
Yes.
not going to pronounce his name properly, so I'm just going to shorten it like Black people do. Yas.
Yashaharia. Yeah, you're right. Yashaharia. Go ahead. I like it. Yash.
Nowadays he can't focus on anything. He feels lazy every time he's trying to do something. I think sometimes that's telling the body to shut down and that the spirit wants to speak through you.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. It,
We
Absolutely.
get caught up in the hurried, gotta do, gotta be, gotta hustle, gotta show up, gotta perform, da da da,
yeah.
gotta gotta be the pizzazz and/or gotta make this money, gotta look fly, gotta. When
Yeah.
sometimes you don't have to do anything, and the body will shut you down and go, listen, before I break your ankle, before I let you catch the flu, before
Yes.
God forbid have anything else happen,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I'm gonna make you tired for a little while. So yeah,
Yes.
take your time, baby, because everything is temporary. Everything is
Mm.
temporary. You'll just lay down for a minute. You can't lay down forever.
And then if you lay down and you feel guilty about laying down, do you block whatever it is spirit's trying to tell you?
No, to the
No.
contrary, right,
No.
Jeane? To the
Yeah. Very
contrary, that's
much.
what spirit wants you to do. So I could
They
No,
talk
no,
want
to
no,
you
no,
to
no,
rest.
no, 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 no. I said if you lay down and the whole time you're laying down, you're feeling guilty and saying, I shouldn't be laying here. I need to be doing something else. I'm asking that question, not laying down. I'm big. I can take a 3-minute nap and feel revived. I'm good on naps.
So what's the question?
So the question is when you lay down to take this nap, should you actually let your body relax so that you can hear? Or if you're feeling bad and guilty, will you still hear?
That's a good
Sometimes
point.
you just need to lay down and take a nap.
And
That's
don't
all. You just need to take a
Go to
nap.
sleep. Go to
You
bed.
know what I'm saying? Because understand that your spirit, especially if you have gifts or whatever, and I know for myself, and I'm sure for everyone here on the panel, is like, you know, you work as you're working your gifts, you're doing sessions, you're doing, all kinds of stuff in your practice, and you need a moment to rest because the spirit is working through you, in you, as you.
Yep.
And so the body has to rest in order for it to be the instrument for
Yes.
spirit.
Yeah.
So the body's the instrument. So we have to
Mm-hmm.
rest. We have to take a
Mm-hmm.
moment. You know, I know when I do group gallery readings for people, and have all these spirits that come through, and I'm working for an hour and a half. And the next day, I do nothing. And
Mhm.
sometimes the following day, I do absolutely nothing. I'm in bed because I need to rest. My
Mm-hmm.
body needs to catch up. You know what
You
I'm
have to
saying?
honor. You have to honor yourself. It's
You have
very,
to
very
honor yourself.
important to honor yourself.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Honor yourself.
you do.
Honor yourself. And that
Oh
means
yeah.
even if you're doing something that has never been done or that other people say is wrong, if your spirit is telling you to do it, then you need to do it.
Honor
Um,
yourself and trust, because I remember sometimes getting to a point where I would have back to backs, or just And I remember asking Spirit, and Spirit said, "Don't worry about it. I got you."
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, I'm just too tired, or, maybe I didn't rest. But I have had Spirit step in, and it has been amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. When I just again allow, I go, okay, I trust you. And then all of a sudden you just get this surge of energy, and everything just starts happening, connecting, and you just honor yourself. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You just honor yourself.
Yeah.
Y'all have honored me tonight. Is there any last word that each of you would want to say? Is there anything that hasn't been said? Is there when you were developing your spiritual gifts, was there something that you experienced that you would hope that they wouldn't have to experience? And you can tell them what you did. Anything.
I'm gonna make it simple and say my mother changed my life with this. We come into this world by ourselves and we leave by ourselves. Take that as you want. But the way I took it was like, oftentimes we have to honor ourselves because we ride this plane by ourselves.
Yes.
Not saying we don't have sisters, we don't have brothers, we don't have mates, we don't have cohorts that walk with us, but we
Yes.
leave and we exit. So that means we need to ride this wave, ride this spiritual experience in this physical place the way we know how. Bottom line, point blank, because we're exiting alone.
One of my things that came up, and I'm not even going to try to understand it because this word is for me, but it may be for someone else, and I'm just going to forgiveness.
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 Forgiveness. And
Be,
how did that manifest in
it
you
manifested because
allowing God to use you?
so forgiveness for me was opening up that channel and allowing those things that were trapped and stuck. Unforgiveness wasn't allowing that energy to flow.
Mm.
So I had to go through my own forgiveness of others to be able to be a very good vessel, an open channel, a clean channel, so that I could help others. So forgiveness.
I think that's beautiful. And that you picked a perfect time to say it, because I'm seeing a comment that some people are going to go up against sometimes when they're doing what God has called them to do. Everybody's not going to understand. That's why you have to test the spirit by the spirit. Forgiveness, prayer, and knowing thyself. Minister Jeane, you want to share something?
Yeah. Everything that was said, I totally agree with. And one of the things that I know for certain, and I want to say to those that are listening, especially, that you are here for a reason.
Yes.
That you have a purpose. And I'll go as far as to say, you said, I'll come now. I'm coming now. I'm going to be born in 1970, 1980s. I'm going to be born in 2000, whatever time it was, because the time that I'm here is when my purpose needs to be fulfilled.
That's right.
Okay?
That's
So
right.
everyone is here. You have a purpose. And if you have a spiritual gift or gifts, and you want to utilize them, you want to use them, and you want it to be, as I say, ordained and anointed by God, because because this is who we are as spirits, that know that you are needed at this time. You're needed at this time. We're all needed at this time. It's so crucial right now, because people are needing answers. People are looking to hear what to do. And in order, we have to be grounded and be able to help people hear,
Yes.
who they are and what their purpose is. So you're here for a reason. So you've
Yes.
been chosen to be here now.
Ashe.
if I could make a request too before we get off, it would be to really try to have a personal relationship with God. And by personal, I mean like Sonja Marie has an excellent book. You can read her book and you can tell everybody about her book. But if you have a one-on-one relationship with her, somebody can tell me anything in my ear. And because I know her, I can be like, not Sonja Marie. No, she wouldn't say that. Or no, I don't think so. Or let me ask her for myself. If you're developing spiritual gifts, have that personal relationship. That's really how you test the spirit by the spirit.
Absolutely.
There are people out there. God bless them. God bless them. God bless them. God bless them. Any last words, ladies? Any last words?
I am, you are, we are one.
Oh, I like that. I am, you are, we are one. There we go. I love it. Timmy, these are our Instagrams. Oh, I didn't put me up there. Let me add me in there. I guess I should be. And I will put them in the chat. I will put them down there so that you can see them. Let's see. I really need a support team too. Sonja Marie has an excellent, oh my goodness, her YouTube page. Every Monday she gives us the rundown. Go to all of our, let me type everybody's Instagram page. And
you
then
did. You did it. They're in there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
just gotta put it back up. There you go.
Okay, let's see. Yeah. So you can up. Oh, I see. It's showing for 10 seconds. But there you go. And then I'll go back and I'm gonna put it down here and follow us because there's always a lot going on. All of us always have something going on. So please, and say hi so that we'll know that you're following. Camille says, you ladies are phenomenal women. Thank you, sis. You are too. We're excited about the work that you're doing. Bree says, you all are definitely helping us hear and heal. Thank you for my soul. I appreciate y'all sharing your gifts and wisdom. Thank you, Bree, for sharing your story. Because one thing that our sister in the top right-hand corner was very specific about was y'all being able to share. And that's what makes this platform so awesome. We can have a conversation, not just us speaking to you. So we appreciate you getting on and commenting. Angela says, yes, have that personal relationship with God. Camille, talk to you later. Pay the blind man. I don't know what that means. Okay.
I want to say thank y'all, though. I love y'all so very much. And I'm so grateful to have found y'all. We talked about this when we got together last and how we have come together as Karolyn has deemed us as the fourth power.
Fourth power, yeah.
Fourth power is, it means everything. Like someone mentioned here in the comments, to have a support system, to have a group of 3 or 4 or 5, have whatever the number is, of just coming together and solidifying and fortifying our own walk in this thing, because it's not easy. There's always going to be somebody that wants to push up against it, that wants to test us with it. But what we know to be true, we know to be true. And it helps our lives to be better. Find those people that help your lives to be better.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So thank y'all, sisters. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Thank
you all.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. I love this. Thank you.
I love y'all too. Find those people that help your lives to be better. Let me see what else y'all got.
Thank you,
It's a whole bunch of stuff that y'all said that got me excited to the fourth power. You're welcome. Thank you. I love y'all. I love y'all. we're going to play my opening again. You know why? Because it makes me feel good. Y'all ready? Here we go.
I know today, no matter what is happening, things will all go my way. I see heaven and I don't have to wait for you to recognize that love resides in this place. Why not listen ahead? Why you making that face? You be tripping so think about something different. Why you making just relax with it, ain't no accidents, it's just all for the love.
Heaven high, everybody. Welcome. That thing makes me so happy, and that's
hi everybody. Welcome.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Yes.
Heaven
Are we still
high.
live?
Huh?
We still live?
We are still live. We're getting ready to get off though.
Okay.
I might have to make another one because I don't have any hair, and I might have to put y'all in it with me. We can go running on the beach. Okay, y'all. God bless. Thank you so much, and we'll see y'all next week.
This is great. Love you.
Love you.
Love you.